Hello. So I decided that telling you about AI is one thing, but I think showing is where there'll be actual value, because sometimes we just assume that everyone has this advanced level of AI competence and we immediately know what they're talking about when they're like, here's a prompt, go do this. So getting into what I actually mean, I'm gonna show you my workflow. So I'm starting with Google Docs, where I have a list of activities. And the example we're gonna use is a 3.5-day trip that I had to Iceland last year. And these were the things that I would say were my must-do activities versus my nice to see. And then I only had like one food place that was like definitely on my list. And this was like a small cafe in Reykjavik. Now, there's going to be two options of you can go to AI and say, generate a 3.5-day Iceland itinerary for me, and it's going to spit you something out. But what I've crafted is a more detailed prompt where the AI tool is aware that you are a new traveler, and what it's going to do is offer you options. So based on the number of days and the activities you have, it's going to let you know whether this is even feasible. Going back to my list of activities, I am just going to copy it over and put it into the detail prompt, which is what I would expect you to do. I would want you to put your list of activities in here. Don't worry about the formatting. It'll figure that out. And I'm gonna put that my destination is Iceland. And I have 3.5 days, where day 1, we arrive at 6 a.m. and day 4 is the half day. For some context, again, the more specific we can be, the better. So what do I mean when I say go to an AI tool? Because the tool that I use, I feel like it knows my style, knows what I want. There's some bias there. So I'm using an incognito browser to show you that it is that simple. You don't even need to sign up or make an account. I am just gonna Google AI tool. That's literally all I'm going to do. Google Gemini pops up as the first option, which is great because that's what I use. And what I want you to see is you don't need to sign in. You don't need to create an account. You don't need to do anything. Just Google AI tool or just Google Gemini, and you have it at your fingertips without having to do anything else. Now, going back to the basic prompt, if I say generate a 3.5-day itinerary to Iceland, I'm pretty sure it's going to do just that. But let's see. Okay, so it's giving me some information about Iceland. I think it's assuming I'm going in March because I'm currently filming this video in March, but it has provided me with the itinerary. And it actually has given me some advice, which is great. So I'm just gonna copy and paste this so that you can have it, which is what I would recommend when you're sort of putting this together, is just copy and paste your options. Okay, so this is our option. So for our basic prompt, it's letting us know what we can do. You come in, it's a very easy day. It's assuming the first day is the half day, which I suspected it would. It's recommending the golden circle, which I did see a lot, but I decided that's not what I wanted to prioritize. And then it mentions going to the South Coast, and it did in fact give more information around quick tips. So again, I'm not knocking the basic prompts, but what I'm saying is if you get more specific, I think it's really gonna hone in. And also this prompt in particular is gonna level set whether what you're saying you want to do is something that, you know, can a beginner actually do this? So let's see. So I'm gonna copy and paste the more detailed prompt, and we're gonna see what type of output we get. Because the goal is just to get you a baseline that's gonna work for you. You by no means have to use the AI itinerary. You can use this as a foundation of like, okay, now that it's said everything, do I agree? Do I wanna tweak some days, revise it? Fully up to you. Okay, so this is what we've gotten from the prompt that I've mentioned. So it says, yeah, this sounds like it's going to be stressful because the drive from Reykjavik to Diamond Beach is 5 hours. You're probably always going to want to stop. The verdict is it's possible to do this, but again, it might be a bit much to fit into a 3.5-day trip with all of the driving. So it's going to give you that reality check first. Then it's going to let you know the transportation advice, which is to rent a car. And then it's going to give you 2 options of itineraries instead of 1. So the first one is giving us everything that we ask for, which is a bit of the crammed path because there's high burnout risk, versus a more realistic and relaxed option where I'm assuming it removes some of the things that we wanted to do, probably on the optional list, and it prioritized a more laid back version of the trip that should be something that a beginner can manage. So for me personally, I would just copy and paste this so that in Google Docs, I can kind of make the comparison myself on which trip is going to be right for me. So it outlines both and it gives us some context on transportation and a reality check, because sometimes you need that. Now, what I will say based on reviewing this, because I did run this exercise previously, this was the trip that I actually planned to Iceland using Trello to visualize. And yes, I did plan the crammed trip where I included everything and I had to exclude some things. So on the very first day, I had all these activities: Sky Lagoon, the food walk, going to, see and get souvenirs, Sky Voyager, the church. Yeah, we had to drop the last 3 things because we were exhausted from the flight. We stayed up. Loved Sky Lagoon, but then we basically was completely tired and just out of it after the food walk, which we also really loved. Same thing on the second day. We planned all of the waterfalls up front and we're like, yep, we're gonna get to our hotel by the evening. But unfortunately, it was a 5-hour drive. It was really long. And with our stop for lunch and everything, we had to cut 2 of the waterfalls and do them on our way back. So I think, again, if I had did this process, it probably would have told me what I already knew, which is you're trying to cram too much in 3.5 days. But I'm not new to this and I persisted. But the thing that was different is that I was open to changing, crossing things off the list and just going by how I felt. Okay. So that was your quick AI interlude that ended up not being so quick, but I hope it was helpful because, again, in demonstration, it's one thing to tell you to go use these prompts, and it's another thing entirely to show you how you can use these prompts. Again, I didn't sign in. I literally just Googled it in an incognito browser, and I use Google Docs, where in fact I am signed in, to put together and compare the different itineraries. So hope that helped.